5:30, so we'll call to order this meeting for Monday, December 27th. Karl, would you start us off with a roll call, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Remley.
Present.
Lunsman. Reif.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold. Langer.
Present.
Rux.
Present.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. First order of business is to approve this week's agenda. We do have one small change. We would like to strike F from new business and table it for a future meeting. So I guess I would take a motion to approve the agenda with that alteration if possible.
Move to approve with that adjustment.
Second.
A motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Rux. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Next, we'll have approval of the minutes for last week, December 20th meeting. Can I get a motion to approve last week's minutes?
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Ronayne. Approve last week's minutes. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. No one has elected to speak at our open forum, so we'll move on to consent calendar where we've got 5 items of routine city business, including some plats, licenses, reports to be checked in, lottery, and some retail renewal businesses to be listed. Can I get a motion to approve those consent calendar items?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Remley and a second from Councilman Ronayne. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We'll move right along to our old business section where we have a second reading and final adoption of ordinance 21-1202, which adjusts the city council boundary descriptions following adoption of redistricting plan. And Joe, any changes on that?
No, there have been no changes.
Changes passed without objection last week. Can I get a motion for this second reading?
Moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Ronayne. Any thoughts, final words on this one? Karl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible second reading and final adoption of 21-1203, which supplements the 2021 budget for various unanticipated projects, activities, and expenses. And Karl, you told us all about that last week. Anything new on that front?
No changes since last reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Remley and a second from Councilman Lux. Any statements, questions? All right. Then, Karl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible second reading and final adoption of ordinance 21-1204, which supplements the 2021 budget of various Parks, Rec, and Forestry Department activities. And Karl, once again, you told us about that last week. Any changes?
Thank you, Mayor. No changes since last reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reif and a second from Councilman Johnson. Does anyone have any questions or things to add on this one before we take our second and final vote? Karl, would you give me a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the new business segment of this meeting where we will pick up with the possible first reading of ordinance 21-1201, which rezones property described as Lot 7 and 8, Block 11 of Sullivan and Easton Addition at 909 North Main Street from R2 District to R4 District and R4 District to C1 District. And Brett, what can you tell us about that redistrict?
The petitioner is requesting this rezoning in order to utilize the structure for an Aflac insurance office. Staff recommends approval. Planning Commission approved with stipulations that the petitioner work with city staff to ensure that all applicable building code requirements are met pertaining to the Americans with Disabilities Act. general life safety issues, and that the property should be rezoned back to medium-density residential district, special density residential district, once the proposed commercial use is ceased or upon sale of the property. Staff recommends approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilwoman Langer and a second from Councilman Remley. Does anyone have any questions for Brett on this one? Sounds good. We'll take a,
Yeah, I would ask a question. How do you enforce them? How do you enforce reversion to the other zoning if they do cease operating the business? How do we enforce that?
It's going to be difficult. I'm not quite sure how we will enforce it. Normally when there's a sale of a property, even a home, we know when it happens.
Can we just rezone it without a petition?
Excuse me?
Can we rezone properties without a petition? Do we have
No, we
authority to
cannot.
do that? I didn't think
No,
so.
No. You'd still have to go through us.
Okay.
thank you, Rob. Did that satisfactorily answer your question on that one?
Yes, we're doing this on a hope and a prayer.
And
Good faith.
it's currently a residential address then, I take it, from 909. There we go. What the zoning board saw fit to make that recommendation or vote that change. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, Carl, would you give me a roll call vote?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible approval of Resolution 21-1205R, which authorizes the transfer of budgetary authority from contingency to police and fire departments and from TIF debt service funds. Carl, would you explain that to us, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Towards the end of the year, this is kind of our safety measure. We have $300,000 that we have authorized as contingency budget. We have a couple of vehicles. We're not sure if they're going to be coming in 2021 or 2022, so we're going to transfer the budget over there just in case they do happen to come in. So we'll have budgetary authority for that. For the 4 TIF districts, it's mainly to distribute principal and interest payments and some payments to taxing entities for TIF number 22 that was completed. That would be Prairie's Edge, the one up in the northeast corner of the city. These are smaller amounts that were primarily from penalties and interest that get paid in over the year that aren't in the original calculation. So Finance Office recommends approval of this resolution.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Johnson. Does anyone have any questions for Carl on that or statements to make? All right, got a motion and a second. Carl, would you give us a roll call vote for that resolution, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Rife, Johnson,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible approval of Resolution 21-1206R, which dissolves that tax increment financing District 22 that you were just mentioning up at Prairie's Edge. What does dissolving it have to do with anything here, Carl?
Thank you, Mayor. This one was another success story as far as TIF districts go. It was created clear back in June of 2014, so this one paid off in just a little over 7 years, about 7.5 years from creation date till completion. Once this is all paid off, then the increase in incremental revenue will go to the taxing entities, and it will provide approximately $226,800 of tax revenue to those 4 entities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Rux. Any questions on this one? All right, then, Carl, would you give me a roll call?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the request for permission to attach an 8-foot by 24-foot mural onto the north side of the building, which is at 506 North Main Street, owned by the Aberdeen Development Corporation and the Aberdeen Area Arts Council. However, I believe that those guys are just involved in this and not necessarily own the building. But Brett, are you going to tell us about that here?
I
today?
sure can. The Aberdeen Development Corp. And the Aberdeen Area Arts Council are requesting permission to attach this mural. The mural will be 8 foot by 24 foot. It'll be painted off-site and attached to the building. Artist Linda Roche will be the one painting the mural, and it's classified as super graphic. Thus, it needs to be permitted by the Planning Commission and the City Council. Planning Commission approved this on December 21st with the stipulation that prior to the mural being installed, a sign permit is obtained, and once completed, the mural must be maintained in accordance with city ordinance. Staff recommends approval.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilwoman Langer. So, Brett, in relation to the existing mural that sits on that wall, will this one be further west?
It'll
then,
be further to
obviously?
the west, correct?
Are there windows in that area?
No.
There's a large, section.
Just blank right
There's just
now.
a blank wall.
It's gonna be beautiful.
No.
The more murals, the better.
Any questions that we've got on this issue here? Statements? Looks like enough to work. I'm excited to see it myself. Karl, would you give us a roll call, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible confirmation of my appointment of Jeff Mitchell to the Aberdeen Housing Authority Board for a 5-year term ending in December 31st of 2026. And I'm sure that you guys all know Jeff. He's recently retired from Happy, and I'm very, very glad that we're able to find someone interested in taking that post, because I asked quite a few people, and it was a tough one to fill, let me just tell you. So I would request that someone make a motion to make this appointment official.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Johnson. Karl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the request to purchase, tabled that one. We've got the presentation of quarterly activities report for the Aberdeen Area Chamber of Commerce. And Lisa Anderson is here to tell us about that, marketing director over there. Welcome, Lisa. Give you a minute or two to hand out your goodies, and then the floor is yours.
I thought we were actually getting something good. Thank you so much.
But make sure your little light is on there, Lisa.
It
so
is.
We can, perfect.
Yep, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and I'm just glad I don't have to spray and wipe this time, so that's good. I'm going to give you a recap of the year as far as what we did to help market the city through the promotion fund money that we've been designated for the year. So just starting off with some kind of general brand image things that we've been doing with the new logo and tagline. We've placed ads in Aberdeen Magazine, each of their editions, and that's not only to reach locals, but also those who live out of town who receive the magazine. Specifically, that's to kind of direct them to online shopping of Aberdeen things, kind of reminding them to show their hometown pride. We did have to buy a few more boulevard banners. We were short some, so that came out of the fund. We bought a new community flag backdrop for the large display that we use at most of the events we go to, or that we host, I should say. We've also done the annual logo on the ice and dasher board inside the OD Ice Arena, which gets lots of exposure. We purchased some promotional items, and then, of course, we've been using the Full Sing jingle on radio off and on. We try to throw that in for a few weeks, every 2 or 3 times a year, just to keep it out there and keep it going. As far as relocation efforts go, we distributed 117 relocation packets that went out to 18 different states. So you can see on your handout there all the states that we actually mailed to. We've been working with 44i CF Digital Group for a digital campaign that we ran May through September. And you can see there, I won't read them out loud, but you can see there the number of clicks, impressions, and then the average click-through rate which is above industry standard. Normally, an industry standard for what we were doing is 0.1 to 0.2%, so we were at 0.25%, so we were above the industry standard there. And the states we were running in, you can see them there also, Minnesota, Illinois, Colorado, Indiana, and we accidentally got Canada just because we were running in Michigan, and that kind of flooded over into Canada. So we did actually had more involvement from Canada than we did from Michigan, but we've had some really good involvement with the states that we were targeting, which we've been watching, just what the state has been doing with tourism and kind of going in the same places and kind of piggybacking off that to reinforce the message of moving to South Dakota, specifically Aberdeen. We did work on that new resident gift card that was suggested earlier this year when I was here, and we have been giving those out with every relocation packet we've sent. We have had 3 redeemed, so we've had 3 people come in and say they moved here and they wanted their $25 gift card, so that was great. And I can see that continuing to go up. And like I said, it wasn't a whole year effort, so we'll give it some time. I had some new video footage shot of different things around town that we're going to be using in 2022. We're going to have a series of new videos made. So we did some Aqua Addicts Celtic Fair, the first game at Dakota Bank Stadium, the Wings, BMX, and pheasant hunting. So different things around town that are going to kind of showcase what Aberdeen has to offer to both visitors and those who we hope would relocate here. And then we've also been still maintaining the Right Move landing page, and the second page is statistics on that. And if you look up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see that that's actually an all-time statistic since that page went live in September of 2018. So we've got a little bit of more than 3 years of statistics for that. And we're going to continue to update that, update the 10 Things to Love About Aberdeen PDF that goes with it, and continue to promote the Right Move with our employers in town. So it's just a great thing for them to be able to send to potential employees who live out of state. It's kind of one-stop place for them to get the high-level overview of Aberdeen, and there's some testimonial videos from new residents and things like that. And like I said, we're going to spend a little time next year doing some updates to that. Day visitors, so to reach them, we used radio in the Aberdeen, Mobridge, Jamestown, Watertown, and Huron markets. We also ran TV ads on the Dakota News Now channels and Midco. And there is the last page of your attachment is just some stats from what we did with KSFY and KDLT, which is the Dakota News Now news group. So you can look back there and see there's just a lot of numbers there, but we probably need to work on that a little bit. It's not as good as I'd like it to be. So I'll have to work with their digital person and see what we can do to help increase our engagements and activity with that. But in general, I was happy overall with, if you look at the top cities by impression and then the top zip codes by impressions, both on the audience targeting and the streaming commercials, we're hitting the communities we want to hit, which are the ones within 60 miles of Aberdeen. We want them to come here and shop instead of going elsewhere. So that's doing what it's supposed to do as far as getting those people here rather than like going to Watertown or Jamestown or somewhere else. And the messages that we had for our campaigns were, early in the year it was safe shopping. We did some general shop, dine, and relax, back to school shopping, and in the summer we did here's some things to do in Aberdeen to get people to come here. And then we started some shop early, I think it was in early October, with just supply chain issues. We're reminding people to get to town, buy your things early, so you're not disappointed when Christmas comes and if it's not there. And then just some general holiday shopping was our most recent. For the shop local piece of it, we just keep reminding our residents to be a team player by spending their money locally instead of shopping online. We always say Amazon has enough money, so let's spend it here. We do support the shop local messages on Kello, so we do have somewhat of a presence there, and they do a good job of, I've seen it quite a bit, and Aberdeen is the only one that's supporting that right now, which is kind of nice because it really just kind of showcases that that's what we're all about. So we'll keep doing that. We've been participating in the First Fridays for downtown Aberdeen. We do have some insulated shopping totes that people can come in and get a free one, and we want them to use it. It's got the logo you see there on the right side, the Live Shop Buy Local. So encouraging people to use that to shop locally. And then as far as Aberdeen gift cards go, we were right around $152,000 this year that we sold in Aberdeen gift cards. And there was one day last week that it was over $9,000 alone. So that's great because that money continues to circulate in our community. Just a lot of people coming in, they'd rather do that than buy a General Visa gift card or something, so that's great, and we continue to promote that. And then to reach locals, we used radio, Aberdeen Magazine, and the Aberdeen American News. There is one print ad there that we used for the holidays. It's on your paper. It's just encouraging them to either shop local in stores, or we do have a list of local retailers on our website that have online shopping available. So that there's a list, they can go there. If they don't want to leave home, they can still shop online, but shop local at the same time. And then that QR code takes them right to that page. So just, again, just a big part of it is hoping people will spend their money here instead of online. And then a couple of things, miscellaneous ongoing efforts. We did work with on-site to make sure that the Kello live cam got going again this year. It was on top of the Citizens Building, and it was not live for a while. So we were able to get it up and going again, and we were paying for the Wi-Fi to that out of city marketing because it is great exposure for the city. And then when the electricity got shut off to the building again for remodels, it went down. But we have been able to work out something with Northern, which I think is a great win for all of us. We're going to put it on top of the new stadium. So it's going to be great for them on game day. It can, whirl around. It can, you can look at the filled stadium. And, of course, most of the time it'll be facing west just because in the evening when Kello does their report, if they show it, it's going to be looking west at the weather. So there is not currently a link on Kello for that. Northerners working on getting it up and live, and they are going to be paying for the internet access to that. So we won't have any more expense with that. So thank you, Northern. It's a good partnership. And then lastly, but most exciting, the new AberdeenSD.com went live a couple months ago. And please go check it out. We're still working on some things we've been going through. It's very content heavy, and we've been working closely with McQuillan's team to eliminate things that are no longer relevant, adding things that we would like to see new things in there. So if you have any ideas, requests, anything that you think you would like to see on that website, let us know. I've been slowly teaching myself how to get updates done, so working on some of those things, but it's great because when you open it, the video runs, and it's so fun to see the things that, all the video that we've been doing, it's, used in a lot of different places, and I've been able also to share that link with other people who want to use video, and I think it's been a good investment for showcasing Aberdeen to be able to have that updated video of different wonderful things that happen and take a look at our city. So are there any questions at all?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I really like the QR code. I'm just curious because I scanned it and it went. Do you have trackable data on that, on how many people are scanning it?
Yes, we
Okay.
do. We actually paid a little bit to buy a QR code that is trackable, so we
Cool.
will be able to get stats on all the QR codes that we're using now. So yeah, good question. But yes, we'll be able to get some stats.
Nice.
And we just started that QR code. I think it was early last month, so we don't have a lot there yet. But next time I come, we'll be able to have
It's
some
just
numbers for
interesting.
that. Yeah.
They're coming back heavily after COVID, so it's fun to see the stats on
It
that.
is. Yeah. We've actually changed the Aberdeen gift card. When people would buy it, we would send out this whole slew of paper with them. It's all the businesses that are participating and things like that. So we were able to, with just a QR code, eliminate all of that. And now we just put the QR code on the folder and the little folder that the card goes in. And actually, we're going to be moving next month to just a sleeve that's going to have the code on it, so it'll be really slick. And most people are able to do that. We did have somebody come in today that said that the gentleman who was going to get it did not have a smartphone, was not going to be able to open it, which is no big deal. Then we just print one and send it with. So, but mostly it's saving a lot of paper, and it's easier for people to be able to use it that way because it's on demand. So.
How did the relocation stuff compare to 2020? Is that a strong increase there, or how did that?
Yeah, I would say it would have to be because we weren't doing a whole lot in 2020. I know we did some towards the end of the year, but as far as overall numbers, it's definitely higher because we were running a lot longer. I don't have the 2020 numbers right in front of me, but I would have to say it's definitely stronger. But we'll keep working on that as well, alongside just the states that the state of South Dakota is targeting for relocation. We'll keep running alongside that.
Great. Any other questions from the council on this? Well, thanks for
Yep.
putting
Thank
this
you.
together for us, Lisa. Good to see you as always,
And
and keep up
Happy
the
New
good
Year,
work.
everyone.
Yeah, same to you. Same to you. We'll move along to our review and approval of the claims. We've got some bills to pay for the week of December 27th. Can I get a motion to pay the bills as emailed to all of us earlier?
Move to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Reif and a second from Councilman Remley. Any questions on any of those? Karl, give us a roll call vote.
Councilmember Ronayne,
I abstain as to the payment to Neil and Joanne Bellica and the payment to Dave Shoemaker, and otherwise vote aye.
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the city manager's report. Joe, what have you got for us here tonight?
Well, this is the last council meeting of the year, and our fiscal year runs with the calendar. So you've seen several of the things on this agenda, and are just a small sampling of the extra work that the finance staff has to do at the end of the year, and all the department heads seeing where we are with everything. So it takes a lot of coordination. So just a special thanks to Karl and Jordan and their staff for everything they do getting us through the end of the year. There is a lot. And then just a couple of unique things I usually don't hit on, but we always have people come and go, sometimes through attrition, sometimes through retirements. But this month we have really been hit with three significant ones. A couple weeks ago we had 2 employees retire on the same day. They'd both been here 28 years in some change. So over 56 years between the 2 of those. Bill Kimball was a sanitation truck driver. And I have to note, he did spend some part-time service in Parks and Rec. He wouldn't want us to forget that. So it was actually a little more, but full-time service, 28 years. And Carla Herr in HR, again, a little over 28 years. And we have another one this week. This is a big one. Rick Lipp, our street superintendent, is retiring after 43 years, almost 44. As far as we can tell, he is the longest serving as far as just full-time service. I know of at least one more that has some previous part-time service, but he's the longest tenured full-time employee, and he'll be retiring. When you add those up, without the months, we're at 99 years between the 3 of them, and a little over 100 when you throw the months in. So those have been 3 great employees that we're already missing and will continue, but it's not often that happens in 1 month. So we just wanted to thank them for their service and wish them well in retirement, and that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Joe. Anyone else got anything before we move to adjourn this meeting? Can I take a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Ronayne, second from Councilman Rux. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.